So if you're ready, say I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Repeat after me. I can be as good as the best.
I can be as good as the best.
Even better than the rest.
Even better than the rest.
So don't test me.
So don't test me.
Because I ain't scared.
Because I ain't scared.
So high five your neighbor and say, don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
All right, now you might get a little scared because I'm about to put you on this roller coaster and we're about to leave from the station, but I will take you through some loops, some ups and downs, but we're going to get back to the station safely. And it's going to start right now with this. 16 years old, I realized there was a road at the end I could win lots of pots of gold. Never took a break, never made a mistake, took time to create because there's money to make. To be a billionaire takes hard work for years. Some nights I shed tears while I said my prayers. Now that one's not mine. That was actually written by a gentleman by the name of Cool G Rap. But that was my life at 16 years old. That song lyric really talked about where I was. I was at a confluence in my life. The road less traveled. Am I going to go fast down fast knowledge, the fast road, or am I going to go the road less traveled, where slow knowledge, where there's a lot of obstacles, but they help make you who you are? So I decided to take the slow road. But there were things that I picked up along the way on that slow road that made me who I am. And those three things that I picked up are mentors, mantras, and hip hop. But before we talk about that, let me talk about me a little bit because I love to talk about me. So, high school. I graduated from Wilkinsburg High School with a 2.3 GPA. Woo, Wilkinsburg Tigers. So, and it wasn't that I was not bright. It was just that I really didn't like the way that I was being taught. I really became an expert at getting kicked out of class. And I'm going to give you a case in point. So this is what happened. One day I'm in class, and the teacher is talking about continents or something. And he says, well, a continent is a large body of water a large body of land that's surrounded on all sides by water. So, okay, and I'm in class, and I say, so based on that definition, you're saying that Australia is a continent because it's a large landmass surrounded by water. Correct. Okay, no, I'm still not clear on this, sir. So let me ask you this. So then Africa is a large landmass surrounded by a body of water, so therefore that's a continent as well. Absolutely. Okay, so is Europe a continent? Because I'm looking at this map, and we're all in this class, and we're all looking at this map together, and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying to myself, is that left Asia or West Asia or Eurasia? Because that doesn't look like it's surrounded. Get out. Because students, let me tell you this. When I went to school, teachers were nowhere near as patient as they are here at South Fayette. So you guys should be very grateful. But I would get sent out. I would get sent to the principal's office. And unbeknownst to me at the time, but as an adult, I think about it now, I actually enjoyed going to the principal's office. And the reason why I enjoyed going to the principal's office is because the principal was one of the first people that I consider a mentor. Mr. Tyndall would never send me home. He would call me into his office, and he would say, Charles, because that was the name they called me. I'm like, Charles. And I'm like, yes. And he says, what did you do? And I told him, and this time he was like, well, technically you're probably right. However, for political reasons, it is considered a continent, and just go with me on that one. But the thing about Mr. Tyndall that was awesome is that he believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And so what you have to do with a mentor is that a mentor is someone that you hold on to their belief in you until you start to believe it yourself. But mentors don't have to be this older person. A mentor can be a peer. A mentor can be a colleague. A mentor can be a student. A mentor can be a book. A mentor can be a movie. A mentor can be someone who's passed away. One of my mentors is Albert Einstein. Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge. And when I thought about that, I said he's right, because things are always invented twice. They're invented in your imagination before they can manifest themselves in reality. So the imagination comes before the knowledge. So therefore, it is more important than knowledge. Winston Churchill, another mentor, he says, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, and ignorance may deride it, but in the end, whoop, there it is. Well, maybe he didn't say whoop part, but but that's true. The more you question the truth, the more truth you will find. It's lies that can't be questioned, because the more you question a lie, you will soon find out that someone is lying to you. So that's what mentors do. They give you wisdom. So that's step one. That's the first thing I picked up on that road, put in my knapsack. The second thing I picked up was a mantra. And see, when people think of mantras, and the young lady who was before me, she was talking about different things, and meditation and so on and so forth. That's where a lot of people's minds go. But we have mantras every day. And the thing about mantras is that most of us are using our mantras to our detriment. Our mantras are, I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this, why is this happening, what's going on in my life, how come all these things always happen to me? And they repeat these mantras over and over and over inside of themselves. And then they wonder why their lives aren't turning out the way that they want them to turn out. But when you speak negativity into yourself, that's what's going to happen. See, I found some good mantras from movies. One of my favorite mantras is from Star Wars Rogue One. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. The guy was saying that all the way throughout the movie, and he was kicking butt and taking names, right? So another mantra from a person, one of the most powerful mantras, was from Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. For those of you who really don't know about Nelson Mandela was unlawfully imprisoned for 27 years just because he was fighting for his and his countrymen's freedom. And he wasn't just put in prison, he was in prison doing hard labor, meaning that he was at a place where they gave him a hammer and he had to take big rocks and turn them into little rocks. And he did that for 27 years. But his mantra carried him through all of that, and then it led him to become one of the most distinguished people in the history of humankind. His mantra was a poem. The poem is called Invictus, and this is it. Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud, but under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horrors of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. He said that every day, every time he felt down about himself, and that carried him all the way through all of the indignities and all of the injustices and got him to where he is. So, those of you who know me well, like my spouse and my family here, they know I have a mantra. And my mantra is, it's because I'm Chuck Herring. Now, people ask me, because people say, well, you've been in movies, you've written books, you've done theme songs for shows and so on and so forth. Because I'm Chuck Herring. And then a couple of years ago, I thought about why I say that. And it really isn't just because I'm Chuck Herring. What it really is, because I'm Chuck Herring and I don't fold under pressure situations. That right there is the entire mantra. But I got a little bit lazy with language, and it just became because I'm Chuck Herring. Okay, but that didn't come from me. Like I told you, mentors can be anyone. It came from my brother. It came from my best friend, Kevin, right here. We're in high school. We're in the WIPIO playoffs, the semifinals, go to the championship. We're into the game, down by 1. He's on the free throw line, and he knocks down both free throws. The coach calls timeout, and we're like, you did it. Yes. Ah. He said, you knew I was going to do it. Like, why did we know you were going to do it? He said, because I don't fold under pressure situations. And I said, yes, that's it. That's it. And then we lost on the buzzer beater. But it didn't matter. But actually, it did matter right then. But it doesn't matter now because that right there became my life's mantra. So that's the second thing that I picked up on that road. The third thing that I picked up on that road was hip-hop. All these things occurred in 1984, by the way. 1984. So, hip-hop, you might say. Well, growing up in the city, they have recreation centers in almost every neighborhood. And so, in Wilkinsburg, we had the YWCA. And the YWCA, they used to have parties for the teenagers that, give us a place to go where we would be safe and our parents would know where we were and so on and so forth. So I'm in the Y at one of the parties and I hear this. 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhymes and I said this rhyme, I'm about this. Oh my goodness. I was done. That was Run DMC. The song was Sucker MCs. I liked rap music before then. I fell in love at that moment. I was like, I love you, hip hop. I love you. I love you. And so, but that song felt to me, it resonated with me like Steve Martin. Have any of you ever seen Steve Martin's movie, The Jerk? Okay. So it's actually very politically incorrect. However, it's hilarious. But in that movie, Steve Martin is raised by a poor black family in the South. And they're always but they're a loving family. They have fun. They have music. And Steve just can't find the rhythm of what his family is doing. He just doesn't know what to do. Then one night, he's up at night, he turns on the radio and he hears this song. And I don't know, it might have been Hank Williams or something, but he was like, I'm feeling this. I am feeling this. And guess what? That's what that song did to me. That was hip hop. So what happened was I got my cousin, Ron Lee, and I said, Ron, come on, man, we're going to go home. And we went home and I said, we're going to write some songs. We're going to write a song. So we went home and he and I, we started writing and he wrote a song. I wrote a song. We wrote songs together and then came back. And we knew that we would have to go ahead and face the gauntlet of our friends. Because one thing about my friends is that they know that iron sharpens iron. And they know that words can cut, and they were experts at cutting with words. So a little bit nervous before we did this, but decided to do it anyway. And Ron, unfortunately, is someone who took the road most traveled. I love him to death. That is for another TEDx talk. But he's still a large part of my life, and he helped me get to where I am. So, but we came up with this song, went in front of our friends, and said something like this. Elimination, admiration to the beat, it's yours. Sensation, domination while you're begging for more. High power, supersonic, Chuck Herring's back. All the MCs that try me are weak and whack. And I could go on and on and on, but that's what we did. And our friends were like, their jaws hit the ground. Like, that was really, they didn't say good, they didn't say cool, they didn't say dope, they said fresh. Because that's what we said back then. That was fresh. That's fresh, man. That was so fresh. Like, really? And the affirmation that my friends gave me, that gave me confidence. And actually, it didn't just give me confidence, it gave me efficacy. Because confidence can be shaken. Confidence can even be broken. But efficacy is what my wife likes to say about me. It's like insane, outrageous confidence, okay? So basically, she's like, when I think of efficacy, efficacy is we're at a lake or a river, and the bank is 1.5 miles across, and my efficacy will tell me, I can swim across that lake, and you will either see me on this other side waving a flag, or I'm going to drown, but I ain't going to stop unless I get there, because I know what I'm capable of. And that's what efficacy can do for you. So now, those three things, mentors, mantras, and hip-hop, took me from a 2.3 GPA, graduating from one of the lowest performing high schools in the state of Pennsylvania, to being a doctor, teaching gifted at one of the best performing school districts in the country. So, in order to wrap this thing up, let me go ahead and bring it home with this, because this is the final thing that was on that road. One court date can turn an outlaw into an inmate. The judge states send him upstate by the Great Lakes and make him wait and wait and wait until he breaks. That's all it takes. Not my lifestyle. So I made a U-turn. The fast money you earn, the fast money you'll burn. Pushing on buttons, pulling on switches. My name is Dr. Herring, and I'm still on the road to the riches. Thank you very much.